Hi, it's Luke here again from Reaper 5.1. Before diving into the template and esoteric things, I just thought of going through my hardware setup, so to put this out of the way. And because it's an important part of my workflow. Short disclaimer here, I don't want you to imitate what I did and then come back to me complaining that it didn't work well enough for you. So to make it clear, when I'm saying you should get this or that, I'm talking figuratively, and any other decisions on your part is totally your responsibility. So without further ado, let's address first the display setup. You will need a 3-monitor setup, one for Reaper, one for the plugins, and one for the actual movie which you'll be working on. By the way, if you own a first generation M1 Mac with 16 gigs of RAM, it's gonna be powerful enough to tackle pretty much any job, but these computers come with a 2-monitor limitation. To bypass this limitation, you will need to buy a USB dongle with the DisplayLink technology. They're not expensive and they work great. So we're looking at my setup now. We're going to talk about the speakers later. We'll start by focusing on the tools. So here we have my controller surface. Then we have a magic pad which I use to control the faders. And I use a multi-button MMO mouse to fire up quick keys. So there it is. It doesn't look like much, but it works. There is a small company named AudioSwift which makes a driver which enables your magic pad to control the faders of your DAW. Will it replace a hardware motorized fader? For extended uses, I don't think so, but since I had the magic pad laying around, it was just more economical to buy the AudioSwift little application. From time to time it has stability issues, but as you can see here, it generally works perfectly. This next one is very important. It's actually an Android Samsung pad, actually their cheapest model. I'm using an application called DAWit, which enables you to control your DAW with the pad. It's a pretty neat application which has many features. I'm only using the push button feature for my uses. As you can see, I created buttons to help me navigate through the session, ARM tracks for automation, and other things. If you decide to adopt this platform, I recommend that you buy a Samsung brand pad. You can even buy a used one. The reason for this is that the DAWit application speaks to your DAW through MIDI messages, and your Android pad needs to have the capacity to send MIDI messages through the USB cable. I don't know about the other brands. All I know is that my Samsung pad was able to do this. For the purpose of this video, I laid the pad against the computer screen so you can see it in action. Sessions will have many tracks, and you will have to do much automation. To not get crazy, you will need to be able to navigate quickly between many tracks, automate things efficiently and quickly, and keep your session tidy because it can become messy very quickly. So here is a quick view of the template which I populated with mock tracks to give an idea of the size of a typical session. So here you have the VCAs, voiceover tracks, the dialogue tracks, the Foley. Oops, I should have given this another color. This is sound effects tracks, hard effects, and then you got the ambience tracks and more ambience tracks, and then you got the music tracks, some buses, master mix track in purple, monitoring options, and the tracks on which you'll be doing the prints. So needless to say that you need to find a way to navigate swiftly between all these track families without excessive scrolling, because it will amount to a big loss of brain energy and time. So I'll demonstrate how I set up the pad. So here you have the VCAs, voiceover, dialogue, Foley, hard effects, ambience, music, master track, and prints. These buttons not only scroll the right tracks into view, but it resizes them perfectly each time. Now we're going to do a little bit of automation. So let's say I select a track, then I select the touch record button. Okay, let's do a freeze frame here. I'm gonna play this action again, and you'll notice that the selected track will zoom in vertically to a workable size. The track will put itself in touch record mode, and the volume envelope will appear and be selected ready for automation, all in one push of a button. This is the power of Reaper. So I push the button, and here you go. Then everything becomes simple. Position the cursor, press play, automate, and everything is working perfectly. After I'm finished with my automation, I'll just press trim read, the envelope volume disappears, resize to normal height, and everything is tidy and ready for the next job at hand. I've created buttons for the most commonly used actions, and there is much space to add more. Now a quick note about the mouse I'm using the Logitech G600 mouse. It's a discontinued model. It's such a shame because it works amazing. My favorite feature is that there is 3 top buttons, one for the index, middle finger, and ring finger. I use the ring finger button a lot because it gives me more possibilities, and it prevents me to have hand problems because it distributes the workload. I don't know why other companies don't have such button. The software to control the G600 isn't compatible with the new Mac OS. So as a workaround, I bought a small application called SteerMouse, which enables you to map any quick key or macro to any mouse button or modifier key. It works very well. Okay, so now let's talk about monitoring. I know that many people will not agree with me, but let's face it. Probably 98% of the people who are going to be listening to your show at home will be listening through a stereo or mono setup. Because of this, all 5.1 mixing templates offer the possibility to hear your mix in stereo and switch between 5.1 and stereo to make sure that everything sounds okay. So what this means is that you can work on your stereo main speakers, which are high quality, to EQ dialogue and do all the critical tasks which necessitate high quality speakers. The 5.1 monitoring system comes into play when it's time to spatialize things inside the 5.1 mix. To be honest, I looked around for legit professional 5.1 monitoring solutions. But when you take into account the price of a 5.1 monitoring controller, this model being an affordable one by the way, and then adding to this the price of studio monitors and dedicated subwoofer, it becomes a major investment which I was not ready to risk. My stepson, being a gamer enthusiast, suggested to me that I buy a Gamer 5.1 surround system. So I went and I bought the most expensive model at the time, which was the Logitech Z906. I know you're laughing, but I love this system. It's not flat, but it packs a punch and everything sounds good on it. Most importantly, it comes with a controller which enables you to adjust the speaker volumes relative to each other, so basically calibrate your system. It comes with a handy remote control which gives you access to all the features. Guys, this isn't the lightweight little plasticky speakers we usually see next to computers. These are heavy speakers with heavy magnets, and the subwoofer is a monster. Another option came up after I bought my Logitech system. It was the Arena 9 system, and as you can notice, the speakers have dedicated tweeters and everything seems to be a little bit more full range. So I think the sound quality could even be better on these boys, except that the controller is of the minimalist type. I don't think you have all the features that the Logitech has. You'd have to make your own research on this. So how do you go about connecting a Gamer 5.1 system to Reaper? Well, there are many options. Either you buy a 8-output audio interface, which I was not ready to spend money for because I already have a good one, or you find other solutions. Maybe you have some of your own, but this is the path I went for. If you feed a consumer sound system with a rated +4 audio source, you risk overloading the input and creating distortion. So you have to feed it with a consumer rated output of -10. So I went and got a mini DSP USB streamer. It shows up as an audio output on your computer and provides stereo fiber optic digital sound. But there's a hidden feature about this device that they don't tell you about, which enables it through a firmware update to output 8 tracks of Toslink digital audio, the same type as used in ADATs. Then I went out and bought a 1990 Fostex VC8, which is an ADAT compatible converter with RCA consumer outputs. But I have great news for you, because I found a product I think that makes all of this very simple. The ESI Gigaport EX, plug and play 8 discrete outputs of consumer audio. Now the last subject of this video is showing you how to EQ your 5.1 system so it sounds great. Reaper, being awesome, has a feature called monitoring effects. It's possible through this option to EQ each individual speaker in your 5.1 system. So what you basically do is you play a good recording of a voice or something like that in your main quality monitors, and then output it to each of the satellite speakers of your 5.1 system and EQ it so it matches what you're hearing on your main stereo monitors. So here's how you do it. You go into monitoring effect, and you set up your EQs so they are 5.1 compatible. And as you will see here, it's acting only on 1, 2, and 5, 6, which are the left, right, left surround, and right surround. This is possible if you go into this option here and select pass-through unmapped output channels. Then I proceeded to do the same on the center speaker, which is the dialogue speaker. Then I went and saved the effects chain to be able to recall it whenever I want. I'm very happy with the way the system sounds. Sometimes I'm working on the Logitech and I go, wait a minute, am I listening through the Logitech or the big speakers here? And I actually have to double check because they sound this good. So this was a complicated video to do because it involved much work, and I'm happy that it's finished. Again, you don't have to agree with anything I'm saying in here. I mean, everybody's free, you do what you want. But these solutions enabled me to have a good enough system to be able to do 5.1 projects at home, and I had no bad surprise yet. I mean, everything that I did here translated well elsewhere. So have a good one, everybody, and thank you for listening to my long boring video.